Kato jumping in and out of pocket like a soldier, cause like really to touch every single topic is a project. Let me show you. Up to something like my hand on a cannon, push a button like I'm Lando or Landon. Climbing up the charts, how you smart but you can't understand it. You will never see us famish, so vanish for real. Welcome to the project.
This is another episode of the Dancing Project. Appreciate the audience. It's good to have a kid in here. Yeet. You know what I mean? Let me know when you're ready to go.
We are ready to go.
We are ready to go. I want to start. Could I start this one off like a little more transparent?
I don't see why not, man.
Parent. You know, like I came in. My apologies. I came in a couple minutes late here. But I also see you have your son with you. You know what I mean? I just had my baby girl 5 days ago. Doing this
Congratulations,
is like,
by the way.
Appreciate you. And then doing this is like boom, 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 trying to make it all happen. And I know like that first couple weeks is wild, but then it starts to get a little bit better as time passes. Now seeing you and you have your son here, do you ever feel like, man, I feel like there's not enough of me to go around?
Yeah, you know, especially now I have 3 kids. My daughter and my 2 sons. You know, the family requires a lot of attention. You know, and we have to be present a lot of times. But you know, I'm very happy with the way everything is played out. You know, you know, I'm very happy for the people that help me. I think my mother-in-law, my wife. You know, they help me a lot. You know, raise the kids, and they give me the support I need to do what I do. So it's a whole blessing, bro. I'm really happy.
That's super dope. Oh yeah, by the way, we have David Benavidez in the building.
If you're hearing these words, it's not a coincidence. Something powerful is moving.
It's how it feels though.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just the support system. If it's not there, it's rough. When you have it, it feels good. Yeah. But still, it's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I got to do this. And then just being able to be present as a father. And that's what I thought was super dope about you bringing your son today. Because that is the type of energy that I'm talking about always, that the Danza Project is. That's what we are, a family-orientated podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what we move towards. We try to have those family-like conversations. It's tough coming up here with people that want to argue with you back and forth or debate about something when it's like, man, we were just like right before this, we were talking about how good this conversation is going to be, and all of a sudden, and we obviously ain't trying to get no knockout punches today. I was wondering, like, I was going to start this one and just be like, here, put the gloves on and hit me once. And I was like, nah, I can't.
You don't hit once, though. That's how I was talking about before.
Better
you
about
than me. 7 punches coming your way.
Yeah. There was actually a fight where the sound was like, I don't, maybe it was no crowd or they took out the sound. Right?
That was during COVID. I had 2 fights. I had one fight with one guy named Rome Rangulo, and then the other one with Ronald Ellis. But it sounds different. The punches, you can hear the punches 100%, so it's different.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah,
that was one of the. It's funny because he knew exactly what I was talking about. The second I said it, he's like, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about."
I was like, "Is that dude making that noise when he's getting hit?" And I was like, "Damn, that's what boxing sounds like with no announcer. Is crazy, man."
Sounds like 2 bricks hitting each other.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like it was AI influenced when you hear something like that. You know what I mean? It sounds like you know how they be making them flicks. Like they did when we were at Beanie Siegel's spot, and right next door somebody was filming. Like they're putting. That's what it sounded. You just heard belt to ass and a lot of those. How you feeling today, my brother?
I'm feeling good, man. I just got back from California this morning. I got here at 8 in the morning, and you know, just been going around everywhere. You know, I just been trying to do a lot of link ups. I was with Ryan Garcia last Friday. Yeah. Then I had a meeting, with a hair company to see who wanted talking about a sponsor. So everything has been going good, man. I've just been trying to do as much as I can, not just in the ring but outside the ring as well. Yeah. I got a big fight coming up May 2nd. I'm going up into cruiserweight, fighting for 2 more belts. So I'm just trying to make my own history. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna wait on nobody.
There you go.
just gonna take the toughest fights available. Take the fights that have the highest reward. Like this fight, 2 titles, and then just trying to be the greatest in my generation, and then just keep repeating it over and over again.
You've been named a Mexican monster for quite some time, right? When do you feel like that nickname was earned for you instead of just given? Like, at what point did you feel like I deserve this?
I've always been like that. The way I fought, it's funny because Mike Tyson gave me that name, but I was always a monster in the ring. Since I've been a little kid, I think it started becoming apparent to me what level I was when I started sparring world champions at 14, 15, 16. These guys are declared world champions. You got Kelly Pavlik, Gennady Golovkin, Surdo Ramirez at the time. The list goes on, and Latif Coyote, Peter Quillen. And I was working with these guys for my whole childhood when I was a little kid. But when I was in the ring, every time I'd have a fight, I'd just go in there and wash everybody out. So it was, everybody knew what type of fighter I was. I'd always see myself as a monster, but I never got that name. I never wanted to call myself the monster until the right time came up. Mike Tyson said, "You know what? You're the Mexican monster." So
listen,
I'm like, shit, you can't
gotta wear that
you can't pass up a nickname given by Mike Tyson. So
one monster.
I mean, it was perfect. So we just ran with it. Everybody loves it, and there's a lot of meaning behind it because Mike Tyson gave it to me. So, but I mean, as you guys can see now, that's exactly what I am. That's exactly how I fight. And from my last fight, I go in there, I tell everybody I'm a monster, and I just want to keep showing it over and over again.
When did you realize, because you're a fighter that continuously moves forward, continuously applying pressure, when did you realize that fighting style was for you in your career? Like, how early on did you recognize that?
That's how I've been boxing my whole life. Also, because I wanted to earn the respect from my dad, and the only way I could earn it, I've never been a fighter that moves around, that boxes. I've always been a fighter that loves to go toe to toe. It was funny because since I've been a little kid, I remember my dad used to tell me I used to get hit like 4 or 5 years old, and then I used to like go like that, the little kid, like bring it on, you know what I mean? So there's something about getting hit that it gives you a different type of adrenaline rush, and you have to be either you're willing to take some punishment to give out the punishment, or you're not willing to get hit like that. And for me, it's always been like that. I feel like if I get hit once, I got to give back 2. I got to give back 3. You know what I mean? If it's going back and forth, I got to keep coming back. And the people love that fighting style. The people love that, and there's just honestly, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be up there trying to saying I'm gonna give the people the best fights ever, and then when it comes down to it, I'm running. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be a man of my word. I like to give the fans what they want to see. I know people don't want to see a boring ass fight, somebody just running around. I want to show the people I have balls. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I'm doing, and that's how I've been fighting my whole life.
I want to show the people I have balls.
Definitely see it, but that's the thing. Your style of pressure doesn't look rushed. It's very calm. Are you going in it with the mindset of I'm gonna break them physically, or I'm trying to break them mentally?
Both. That's the thing about when you're in boxing and you could consistently be in front of somebody and dodging the punches. That does something to their mind. It's like, not only is this guy coming forward, I can't hit him, and he's hitting me with some hard shots. So both pressures, it ends up breaking the fighter faster. You know what I mean? They could be confident from the first all the way to the 8th round, but when I get to the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, I'm still in there. So it does something for them psychologically.
The walls start closing.
Yeah. And then that's really why it's really important that you come 110% ready for whatever fight, because the pressure might not work the first 6 rounds.
I can see the fat kid.
But if you keep pressuring the last 6 rounds, that's really where you make the impact at. So
he's just a little fat kid.
It's just the boxing is chess. You know what I mean? This is really a chess game. You know what I mean? You're trying to psych the person out. You're trying to get the best defense, and you're also trying to cause as much damage as possible. So I love it, man. You know, I mean, I think I'm 100% ready for whatever, and I think because I've had those hard sparring sessions when I was a kid. You know what I mean? That's helped me be the fighter I am today and be ferocious and, you know, be the monster that I am.
Yeah, built for it.
What about losing your title in 2018 due to a suspension?
Yeah.
After this, you go on a generational run, right? And that most people are looking at like that's one of the moments that shaped your career. What did you learn from that, and was that one of the toughest moments of your career?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like every successful man needs something bad for that to happen to them so they could become even more successful. You know, me at the time, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think everything I was going to be world champion. I worked like I knew I was going to be world champion, but it's always, you know, it's in your head, you're like, is that possible? I don't know if it's possible. But saying that is, you know, I was always, I had a lot of friends in the streets, and, you know, we were always partying, doing shit like that. And once I got, you know, I had already bad habits as a young teenager, you know what I mean? And what do you think happens when you get a lot of money and then people are inviting you to all the parties and you're lit, you know, everybody wants to be around you. So, you know, my life had kind of got, it got a little bit out of control. But, yeah, and I needed that to happen so I could see the severity of my consequences.
That's like that punch in the face you were saying earlier.
Exactly.
It's that one like, all right, now I'm up.
Yeah, but that was, you know, and that helped my life. You know what I mean? It just helped me straighten things out for myself. And also, you know, I mean, I feel like I don't ever get, you know, shy to talk about this type of stuff because there's always going to be somebody else who's doing the same shit I'm doing, you know what I mean? So I'll be the sacrificial lamb so you guys can see, you know, what could happen. You know what I mean? This shit's nothing to play with. And the thing that helped me a lot, that if I was, you know, my love for the sport kept me out of trouble, you know what I mean? Because, you know, as soon as that happened, you know, I got suspended for, you know, doing coke, and I'm just looked at myself, I'm like, man, if I go heavy into drugs, man, I'm gonna lose everything that I've worked for. Everything my dad worked for. You know, he's been training me since I was 3 years old, all the work I put in. So it's just like, you know what I mean? I put my boxing and put my faith in front of everything. I just let that, you know, lead me. You know, and it's worked for me, you know what I mean? And I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at today. I'm happy for the lessons I've learned. I'm happy from the stuff I've done. And, you know, now I feel like I could use my story and, you know, like there's going to be young boxers or young athletes that go through the same thing I'm going through. You know what I mean? If I could sit there and look at them in their face and tell them all that stuff is not worth it. You're just going to be wasting your time when you could be applying that time that you're wasting on this into this sport, which actually is going to get you up here. So, I mean, I always, that's something I learned. You know what I mean? I'm never shy to talk about it. And, you know, I feel like there's something that could help a lot of young fighters or where anybody's going through that stuff. You know, you don't even have to be a fighter. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you party, you choose a party life more than anything, your life starts going down, and you know what I mean? It's just not worth it. I mean, once in a while, if you go out once or twice, 3 times.
David Benavidez is so cool. He knows about the party life. Wow.
4 times, 5 times at the most, it's fine. But once you're over partying, overindulging, that shit doesn't do nothing good for you.
And it takes on its own life as well.
Exactly.
Now, one thing that does take form and takes over your life a lot of times for a lot of people is the nickname. That nickname will consume you.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like being labeled a monster makes people not see the human in you? Because you're that guy that we look at in the ring that's just like RoboCop. You know what I mean? You're just constantly just beating on people, and it's just like, do you think that it has a negative impact on your image as well?
No, because the people that know me, they know it's two completely different people. David Benavidez outside, I'm the monster in there. You know what I mean? And I'm a nice guy. I don't like problems. You know, I don't like to waste energy. I'm a happy guy. You know what I mean? And I don't fight with nobody. I don't like even argue with anybody. But once I get to the ring, it's a whole different type of person, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm doing. Every time I go in the ring, I'm trying to knock everybody out. So I know how to give each character its place. You know what I mean? Because it really is what it is. It's a character. It's a character that you portray. It's a character that you become.
Yeah.
So outside the ring, I'm regular. I'm not aggressive at all. But when it's time to get in that ring, it's a whole different type of person.
See, that's
And then that's also sometimes I feel like in boxing and in sports, there's some people that don't know how to turn that off. You look at like Adrian Broner. I feel like he never knew he didn't know how to turn that persona off.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be really dangerous. Sometimes people don't know how to turn that persona off. But I feel like with me, it's a completely different thing. I know how to control myself. I know how to separate the two. So I don't have a problem with that.
You ever? I'm sure you gotten into some street. You from out here?
No, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've gotten into some street fights in your while you were a professional at some point, right, or an amateur.
Yeah, they scrapping in Phoenix.
But the thing too, so with the boxers is that you can't approach something, you can't try to start a fight. If somebody tries to mess with you and they put their hands on you, they swing on you, then you have a reason to do something. But I don't try to fight. If there is a problem that that somebody's trying to fight me, I'll have somebody that's with me fight the person. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, because it's one of those fuck around and find out moments. There was that viral moment at a football game where two fans were talking shit to one another, and it looked like the one guy was intimidating the other to back down, but the other guy's just sitting there laughing the whole time. And then the video goes viral of this dude's MMA career and fucking people up. And he wasn't. He was just smiling and quiet just because he was like, you know what's about to happen to you? I feel like that's what, like, you're the type of person I would imagine that all your boys around you, when somebody starts like acting tough, you're like, fuck.
But it's just like, it's too like if somebody talking crazy too, and then you lay their ass out, and it's like, man, this guy don't know shit anyway, so I don't even feel good. And then I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, like, man, fuck.
It's not as gratifying. It's not worth it. 9 out of 10.
Do you ever feel that with this persona, this character that's in the ring, that it could impact you in a negative way through your career because of the fear of people fighting you? Does it impact the money and things of that nature?
No, I don't feel like that, man. I feel like, everything, I control myself very well outside the ring. I have a lot of people with me always, you know what I mean? So even if it was something that would happen like that, I have my people that would take care of that situation, and I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm gonna get myself in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna put myself in a position where something happens, I get sued, or something dumb happens. You know what I mean? I can look away. You know what I mean? I could be like, man, this shit really don't matter. At the end of the day, I know how to control myself. There's some boxers that can't control themselves, but I think I know how to control myself outside the ring pretty good.
So I like being transparent. Love being honest about everything. Early on, when your name gets brought up and Canelo's name gets brought up, me being a fan that I am of the sport, or just individuals, right? I look at Canelo, I'm like, I don't think he could fuck with Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
I start watching these fights, right? You get that COVID moment where it's right now for me, it's intimidating because I can see the damage, that the work that you put into the damage that you do. And that's what I mean by, does it impact you financially, because they see it as well. They see this type of fighter that you are. They see you constantly putting pressure. Is it impacting you because some of those fighters refuse to take the fights knowing how dangerous it could be?
Yeah, so it does impact me, but I just see it like I'm gonna just keep doing my job, and eventually they're gonna have to come and see me. You know what I mean? Same thing happened with Bivol. I was trying to fight Bivol. Now he's taking a tune-up. Now he wants to fight, what's his name? But it's just, the walls are closing in. Sooner or later they're gonna have to come and see me. With the Canelo thing, that's been apparent that I don't know what they're doing, because this fight makes so much sense for so much reasons. Pay-per-view numbers, people want to see it. It's gonna be history. You know what I mean? And there's just so much things that make sense for this fight. So I just,
Canelo's kind of small.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's saving.
5'8",
they want to make it
5'9",
probably Canelo's
6'2".
last fight, or if he even wants
It's
to
a
do. I
5-inch
don't know.
difference.
You know what I mean? I really don't care. Trying to talk shit,
Bivol.
saying he's scared of me. Now I really don't know what
Better
he's doing.
be.
You know what I mean? I feel like it'd be a great fight for the fans. So if they don't want to make it happen,
Apateo.
I guess that's a fight we're gonna leave on the table.
Yeah.
But
That's honest.
But either way, even if I don't fight Bivol, even
Jake
if I don't
Paul.
fight Beterbiev, my main focus is just winning the titles. And if they don't want to fight, then there's nothing I could do. I think I've showed you guys I'm more than willing to fight anybody.
Yeah.
So if somebody doesn't want to fight me, yes, and does impact me, it fucks with
I
my.
feel like Benavidez is kind of big.
More financial in boxing, but I can't. There's nothing I can do about that. If they don't want to fight me, they don't want to fight me. I think that shows the fans. You know what I mean? Who is who? I think it shows the fans that I've been trying to make these fights happen. So it's not on me. It's on them.
I sat down with Shakur Stevenson in Houston. We sat down in the ring. We had a great conversations. One of the things we discussed was he felt like he came into boxing and Gervonta Davis was his prime date.
Arch nemesis.
Yeah, so like this is how it was supposed to go for him. And he says, I feel like if I don't get that fight throughout my career, that it'll just always be missing that moment. Is Canelo that for you?
Yeah, 100%. So it's always like, like always in boxing or whatever sport it is, everybody always has their arch nemesis. You know what I mean? So Canelo he's my arch nemesis basically. And yeah, well, that's exactly how it'd be. It'd be an unfortunate moment that never happened in boxing, but if it doesn't happen, there's really nothing I can do about that.
Did Crawford take a little bit away from it for you?
Yeah, he took a lot away from it, because at the time that Crawford beat him, Canelo was basically looking invincible. You know what I mean? So if I could have got in there, beat Canelo, then it would have, it would have been more of an impact.
Yeah.
Now that Crawford came in and beat him, now it's like you don't know what Canelo's going to show up. If it's going to be an extremely prepared Canelo, or it's going to be a Canelo that doesn't really seem like he's hungry.
Yeah, he's going to come in, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But for you, what would you realistically like to happen right now in your career? Like, which route do you want to take?
Right now, the routes we're looking at, and we've been talking to the promoters, and it's someone to make happen 100%. I'm gonna fight Surdo Ramirez. Then we're gonna come down. We're gonna make that fight with Bivol, and after that, we're fighting Beterbiev. So those are the three big fights, and I think I'm not gonna shy away from no fight. I could go and fight Surdo Ramirez and go fight another person, then maybe go fight Bivol, then fight this person, then that person, then Beterbiev. But I just want to go straight into them, bro. I feel like right now I'm in the prime of my career. I've a lot of confidence right now. 29 years old, I feel like I have the world in my hands. So I'm gonna take these challenges. That's the thing I want to show kids in boxing too, man. Everything is not 100%. These fights, and if Beterbiev, Bivol, even Surdo Ramirez, these are 50% fights. I mean, they're 50-50 fights. I believe in my heart I could beat them 100%. But on paper, they look very tough. So I believe in myself. What I want to show to young kids: if you believe in yourself, you train hard, you do what you're supposed to do, you could accomplish anything. And that's what I'm going to show. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to beat Surdo Ramirez. I'm going to go beat Bivol, and I'm going to go beat Beterbiev.
Talk that shit!
Yeah,
Line them up, coach.
You mentioned early on today during this interview of linking up with Ryan Garcia. You also questioned him when he was using the PEDs. What changed that we seen you in the ring with him?
Nothing changed. If it said that he took PEDs, and I guess he took that. I mean, I don't know if the thing is tainted or not. Just like how they say it's tainted. But what I said is that he had that in his system. He had ostarine in his system. Nothing changes just because I seen it. I'm not going to take back what I said.
Yeah.
But maybe it was tainted, or maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know what what was going on. But apart from that, Ryan Garcia is a good dude. He's a good fighter. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to go link up with him, California, when I was out there, and he was being cool. He invited me, and it's all love. You know what I mean? I'm gonna point something out if it comes out. I mean,
absolutely.
It's not like it's only something I know. It's something the whole world knows. You know what I mean? So maybe it was tainted. So, but I mean, it doesn't take away from Ryan Garcia. He's a good dude. He opened his doors to me. We went out there. We had a good workout, and it was a good time.
A lot of people have criticized Devin Haney for his approach, right? And then we see him come out. He has a successful fight more recently, right? Without the ostarine, if that fight happens again, do you believe that Ryan Garcia could take that victory?
I don't know. That's for them to fight. Devin Haney is a good friend of mine. But I'm just like you guys. I just want to see a good fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, it should have. I feel like they should have made it happen before they even fought. Before Ryan even fought Rolly, or I think they should have just waited for that fight. But it'll be a great fight. You know, there's a lot of good hype, and we'll see if that whatever he was caught with really made a difference or not. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Do you believe that?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want, and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one, to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation, where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it? Let's make your dream a reality, right now.
It's a bigger problem. You know, recently we're watching sports and we see UFC pull some fights because of some betting, right? Then we seen in college basketball, we're hearing about it in professional basketball. A lot of times when something's highlighted, then all of a sudden everybody's starting to hear about it. Now, obviously we've heard little tidbits of information of PED use, but do you feel like it's part of a larger problem in boxing?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of problems in boxing. In boxing, I haven't seen really anything about like the sports betting and stuff like that, because I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit harder to hide that in boxing.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that. I've seen it in the UFC and I've seen it in other things like that, but I haven't seen it in boxing. But there is a lot of PED use in boxing. There's a lot. You know, the thing about it, why people use PEDs, because not every fight is tested through VADA. You have, so the thing about it is they have to pay $100,000 or $50,000 each person. So sometimes they don't want to pay that. So a lot of people take advantage of this. You know, for me, my contracts, all my fights are my world title fights. So I'm doing everything right. If anything, if they don't pay, I pay through my pocket. But there's a lot of other fighters, you know, in other different countries. GG.
go to Yokosuka. I'm gonna go to the chess club over there. And at the high school. And become a swim coach. Yeah.
Demons started creeping in.
Let's watch this stuff first, though.
And depression hit me. It came out of nowhere. I pride myself to keep moving forward in tough situations, but I couldn't stop it no matter what I tried to do. The more I pushed for it to go away, it came stronger and stronger until it beat me to my knees. The moment I try to get up, I'm getting beaten down again. It was so dark. It felt like I was in hell. You get over the pain, and before you know it, you're back in the pain. That's what it felt like. It was torture. And I said to myself, I don't want to box no more. I'm done. This is not even me. And I tell my mom, I need help.
I'm so proud of my son for everything he's gone through and, overcome. This is amazing. It's an amazing journey.
My wife said, if you win, we'll fly to Asia. If I win, we'll fly to Paris. I bet you won't get to...
In boxing, more than most sports, feelings can be mislabeled as weakness. Garcia knows better, because he understands the power that can be culled from facing and reconciling an unseen opponent.
The camera catches Ryan Garcia in a different rhythm this time, and it's noticeable from the first frame. No rush, no extra chatter, just steady work and long looks of concentration as camp settles into a serious grind. Still there, obviously, but now it's paired with patience. Ryan's focusing on positioning, on staying balanced after every punch, on not giving anything back for free.
Good work. Woo. I'm 215 pounds. You pulling me like I ain't.
Once he gets in that mode, it's over.
Look good.
I got numerous NFL guys, MLB guys, and he has a mindset far and beyond all of them kids, which is crazy. Go. He's gonna be as fast as he can be, as strong as he can be. We're gonna get the knockout. Go.
10 more. 10 more. 10 more.
Ready? Go.
He won't I'm tired. 10 more. 10 more. Until I've done a million. I messed with the wrong Instagram fighter. And after I beat him, 10 more. That's my mentality right now.
Against Mario Barrios, that matters. Barrios is tall, durable, and comfortable when fights stretch into uncomfortable minutes. And Ryan knows this camp isn't about moments, it's about control. You see it in the sparring, where he's stacking combinations instead of hunting one shot.
Garcia started boxing early, at age 7. He trained under his father, Henry, while the rest of the family provided never-ending support.
My dad created a shed for us to train in. It was like a little barn. It was funny, I was always seen as somebody that was destined to make it. In my family, they just always felt like I was going to have an impact on boxing. There's been times in my life that I've said to myself, you better push it. You better win. Like my mom and dad, they gave their whole salary to this one tournament. We drove all the way over there. It was cross country. And I said to myself, if I lose in this tournament, and I got to do this long ride back home, this is gonna be torture. So I swear on my life, nobody was beating me. And I actually fought a southpaw. Guess what I did to him? Punished him. And came back with the national title. So that was good.
And in the drills, where defense comes immediately after offense, not as an afterthought. There's a quiet edge to how he moves, like someone who understands what's at stake and doesn't need to advertise it.
It's over now. It's over now. That energy. He's getting destroyed. Getting destroyed. I don't care about the story no more. It's coming to an end. It's done. It's finished. Put in stake in it. Done. No more story. You had a good run, like I told him. It was a nice little cute story. It's over with now. It's over. I got a longer story. That's the difference. His chapter's done. He had a fun little one, a little cute one. He did good for his city. But it's over now.
This preparation feels deliberate, almost restrained. Like Ryan is trying to prove
it's like he's talking to
himself
me.
before proving anything to the world. It's less about flash and more about readiness. And that shift might be the most dangerous part of this version of him.
Everybody always wants to cut 5 to 10 pounds the last week of the fight, but during that week, you lose your strength. We ain't losing no strength. We doing this the right way. He's eating right. He has the nutrition on point. We're doing the strength and conditioning on point. We're way ahead of schedule. We're ready to fight right now if we needed to, and we still got 3 weeks left. That's the crazy part. Keeping it focused, we're keeping it strong, we're keeping it powerful, we're keeping it explosive. Man, we're just excited for this fight.
While Ryan sharpens speed and control, Mario Barrios is preparing like a man who's already lived through the storm and knows exactly what it feels like. The work doesn't look flashy, but it's heavy. Long rounds, steady pressure, and a focus on fundamentals that don't fade when the fight gets uncomfortable.
Why am I doing this? Why didn't I stay in school? Days and workouts like that, they push you to a mental where you really have to question, like, why am I doing this? For me, a couple of reasons. For myself, I've been in boxing since I was 6. I have love for this game. Some fighters, Pacquiao, for example, I think that's what it is. You just have love for the sport. You can't get enough of it. This shit sucks.
Since I was 19.
Have a love-hate relationship.
Since I was 19, I've been boxing.
But everything just it comes together like a puzzle on fight night.
Barrios is drilling behind the jab, closing distance patiently, touching the body, then coming back upstairs. The kind of habits that don't trend online but win late rounds. You can feel the experience in how he moves. Calm feet, composed eyes, no wasted motion. This camp feels built around durability.
Win late rounds.
Knowing Ryan's speed can't be
You got
chased,
knocked out, and
has to
you got knocked out by 10 in the 10th.
All is said and done, more is said than done, and today a hell of a lot is getting done. Let's get it.
I say it often, but I have confidence in my preparation. You know, I'm making sure I'm on top of everything.
An IQ of 85 to 115 is considered average in the U.S.
My IQ is 132.
Even as the bigger fighter, Barrios remains acutely aware of his opponent's near-perfect knockout rate.
Barrios isn't trying to outsparkle anyone. He's trying to stay present for every second and punish mistakes when they show up. The confidence comes off quiet but firm, like someone who trusts his preparation more than predictions. He's been in with elite names, felt real power, real pressure, and that history shows in how seriously he's taking this moment. This isn't about surprises. It's about readiness when the fight starts asking hard questions.
So he must prepare not only to deliver blows, but to withstand them.
It's a neck exercise right here, so this is just, you gotta have a strong neck to take shots, and we've been putting more emphasis on that this camp than